Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we are getting into something absolutely powerful. We're going to break down the principles of a daily playbook for mental toughness and self-mastery, straight from The Warrior Within. We'll be looking at the exact timeline of a warrior's day, zooming in on those split-second moments and mindsets that literally separate the average from the elite. So get ready, because these ideas, they are entirely applicable to whatever battlefield you happen to be facing in your own life right now. Okay, let's dive straight into this. I want you to picture stepping into a military camp. It's 4 a.m., it's pitch black, it's freezing, and the rest of the world is sound asleep. Taking absolute control of your day begins right here in the dark, way before the sun even makes an appearance. It sets this immediate, uncompromising tone, you know? Victory isn't won in the spotlight, it's won in the shadows, when absolutely no one is watching. Now, you might think the foundation of this kind of mastery is some heroic battle, right off the bat. Actually, scratch that, it starts way smaller. It's a super strict sequence. Wake up before sunrise, make your bed, put on your boots. Why focus on something so simple? Because discipline starts with the smallest possible actions. You have to connect these micro actions to your macro success. By just making your bed and lacing up those boots, you're proving that success is built one tiny step at a time. If you can master the first 5 minutes of your day, you've built the framework to master the whole thing. And the moment you step out into that cold morning air, bam, you hit the first major crossroad of the day. Choose comfort versus choose growth. Most people, they're going to choose comfort. Warriors choose growth. I really want you to think about how this applies to your own routine. Every single morning when that alarm screams at you, you face this exact choice. Do you stay under those warm, cozy covers, or do you step into the cold and choose to grow? That single, everyday choice is literally the dividing line between an average life and an extraordinary one. And this brilliantly illustrates the rhythmic pacing of what we call the morning grind. At dawn, every single step forward on that empty road is about defeating yesterday's weakness. Then, as the early morning stretches into this long, grueling road, your focus has to shift entirely to just maintaining determination. Finally, by mid-morning, out on the training field, we get this great reminder. Champions are made on completely ordinary days. Every footfall on that pavement isn't just a workout. It's a deliberate act of progress. You are carving out a stronger version of yourself before most people have even poured their first cup of coffee. Moving into the push-up training, we hit a really profound truth. Strength grows exactly when you refuse to stop. This is just such a critical concept to grasp. Strength isn't handed to you, it's earned, right at that precise moment when your muscles are absolutely screaming at you to quit. And here's a wild fact about human biology. Physiologically, your brain signals fatigue and begs you to stop way before your muscles actually reach their absolute physical limit. Pushing past that mental safety switch, that is where true, lasting growth actually happens. So, the crucial point when we look at sprint training is this. Speed comes from effort, not talent. It completely strips away that comforting excuse we all like to use. You know, that some people are just born naturally gifted and are just destined to win. It proves that raw, relentless, burning effort will always outpace unearned natural talent over the long run. It's kind of an incredibly democratizing idea when you think about it. Your results are entirely dependent on exactly how much effort you are willing to put in. Now, what's really interesting here is this contrast. Pain is temporary, but pride lasts forever. This totally flips the script on how we view physical or mental exhaustion. Instead of seeing it as a sign to stop, you start seeing it as a currency. Sure, you're experiencing this fleeting feeling of temporary pain, but you are actively using it to purchase long-lasting pride. It fundamentally changes your entire relationship with discomfort. When we enter the obstacle crucible, we learn pretty quickly that hurdles aren't blockades. They aren't there to stop you. They test your courage, they make you stronger, they teach you a lesson, and ultimately they build a warrior. Notice that powerful rhythm? Every challenge, every failure, every lesson. It completely redefines adversity. The mud, the massive walls, the barbed wire, they aren't getting in your way. They are literally the tools being used to forge you into something far more resilient. But what happens when the physical body spends its very last reserves, dragging through freezing rivers and up treacherous mountain climbs? Well, that's when the battleground shifts entirely to the mind. The strongest soldiers master their minds. At this point in the timeline, your body is 100% spent. The only thing carrying you forward is pure mental fortitude. It makes it exceptionally clear that the ultimate battlefield isn't the physical terrain out there. It's the space right between your own ears. And to survive that, you need a mental arsenal. To keep moving when everyone else stops, you have to stay hyper-focused on the mission. But the real secret weapons are these. Fear fades when purpose grows, and confidence comes from preparation. This has to be your internal monologue. You don't fight fear just by trying to act brave. You fight it by having a purpose so massive that the fear simply fades into the background. And you don't just magically summon confidence out of thin air, right? You breed deep, unshakable confidence through relentless preparation. Let's move to the next phase and see how this builds, because this journey isn't just about individual grit. As we get into sunset training, carrying all that heavy equipment together, a much broader truth emerges. No warrior succeeds alone. Up until now, everything has been intensely personal. Your discipline, your pain, your mindset. But reaching ultimate success? That requires shared burdens. You simply cannot reach the highest peaks of achievement entirely by yourself. Teamwork isn't just some nice corporate buzzword. It is a vital, non-negotiable necessity. This brings us to a whole new definition of ultimate strength. The strongest soldier is a warrior who trusts their team, supports their brothers, and leads by example. True strength isn't about solitary power or having a big ego or dominating other people. No way. True strength is your ability to elevate your entire unit. It's about earning respect not through a fancy title, but through your undeniable actions in the field. Your personal mastery only really exists so that you can better serve the team. So, standing at that metaphorical mountain peak, looking out over the horizon, we arrive at this striking realization. Your limits are way, way farther than you think. I really want you to internalize this for a second. Whatever you currently believe your absolute maximum capacity is, whether that's in your career, your fitness, your personal life, I guarantee you're wrong. You haven't even tapped into your full potential yet. The horizon stretches much further than your current perspective even allows you to see. Which leads us to the Horizon Directives. These are your final marching orders. Never settle for average. Push harder than yesterday. Become stronger every single day. We're not asking for some one-time heroic leap here. This demands relentless, incremental daily growth. Your only real competition is yesterday's baseline. The whole goal is just to be a tiny fraction of a percent stronger, tougher, and more disciplined today than you were 24 hours ago. Well, we've walked through the entire anatomy of a disciplined, purposeful day. From 4 a.m. all the way to sunset, we've dug into the mechanics of mental toughness, the absolute necessity of teamwork, the whole shebang. But let's be honest, analyzing it, that's the easy part. The real test is tomorrow morning. So I'm going to leave you with this stark, provocative question. The warrior never quits. When your alarm rings in the cold, dark hours of tomorrow morning, will your mission continue?